shone around upon FC Halifax town. Shaymen!
Welcome back to another episode of Talking Shaymen, and tonight I'm joined by Dover correspondent Matthew Gerrard. Matthew, how are you doing?
Not bad. Lovely to be on the show, Luke. I'm looking forward to this.
Yeah. So how's it going down at Dover then this season? Like, coming into the season, it was a little negative after the point deduction. And it's been quite a tough season, hasn't it, so far for Dover?
Yeah, it hasn't been the greatest season, I have to say.
Yeah.
We're going to be relegated. There's no doubt about that. It's when that will happen. Going back to the beginning when we had the points deduction, and this time last year we stopped playing. Everybody sort of agreed with what the chairman was going to do. He said that the club would have issues, and there was a sort of groundswell of support from the fans before the season started, and it could be a sort of a sliding doors moment, because at the start of the season, you know, they're expecting 2,500 for the first home game, and everybody was right, we're going to do this, fight against the league. Then that was called off for COVID, and then we really haven't got going since then. You know, you look at the league table, up in the middle of February as we are now, league table doesn't lie. We're bottom of the league. We've got 5 points out of 28 games, whatever it is. We're going down, and it's a season to really forget. And theme. It's just that, I think the last few days with Notts County, it's just you just want it to end, really. And but it is what it is. That's football for you. It's cyclical. That's the correct terminology. That Dover. We've had our 8 seasons in the National League. Been great. We've had some great ones getting into the playoffs. But we're going to have to go to Conference South, and we're going to have to regroup.
When you think of the calibre of players that Dover have had over the years, like Innie Effingham, Lagoule was there a couple of seasons ago, even the likes of Jamie Allen, who's obviously signed for us. You've got Ricky Miller, who's obviously returned now, probably not the same player. It's sad to see in it how it's turned out at Dover in the end. But coming into the season, did you expect it to go as badly as this?
At the start of the season, Miller came back. Miller's now gone. He was a shadow of the player they had in, and some of the experienced players that have got him. My feeling was we were going to go down anyway. The 12 points deduction was always going to be tough. I thought we may have picked up more points than we've had now. And one of my main hopes was that maybe we would battle against it. But if we stayed up, if we went down, but if you'd given us the 12 points back, we would have stayed up. Everybody would have been happy. So it's just we've competed in some of the games. Some of the games we should have had more points on the board, I think. But we just haven't got that quality. And you know what the National League's like now. Like Halifax. Halifax to me are a big club, but they're not a big club compared to some of the clubs at the moment. If you're in this league, and it's a crazy league with the money going around. We can't compete. We train 2 days a week. And in an evening we're part-time. The budget is 350,000, and some of the Wrexham players are on more than that in total. So we just can't compete. It is what it is. Some of the fans probably think that we should have maybe carried on playing last season. But the chairman made a decision, and that's for the long-term future of the club. And this season, you could just technically write it off. It's just we've won one game, which was great, but it's just been as a commentator as well. It's been a tough report, I have to say.
They haven't really been battered though, have they, Dover, in many games, discarding that Solihull game, taking points off the likes of Chesterfield, and that Stockport game a couple of weeks ago. They only just lost. Same with Wrexham. They're not like a thrashing side, are they? A hammering side, Dover, when you play them.
No, we lost the 6-minute Grimsby. Solihull, when Dallas basically took us apart in that game. Chesterfield at home early in the season, arguably we were the better team, should have won. Wrexham again deserved a point. And even in Stockport at home, even though we lost 5-2, we were the better team, winning it 2-2, and from there. And a bit like at the weekend as well. To be fair, Torquay, who I thought one of the better sides, dominated the game. We got into it, had a couple of chances. But, as a commentator, here's a stat for you. Between the 15 minutes before half-time and the 15 minutes before the end of the game, Dover have scored 2 goals all season in that period. But they've conceded 26. So you can see you get in a game,
Yeah.
but we haven't, only once we've been in the lead at home all season, and that was the game we actually won.
Mm-hmm.
We haven't come from behind any time, so we are a young, inexperienced team, and they're going to learn from this. And I think there's some good players in there, but it's just we haven't got the quality or the nous to, when you get into a game, we cannot seem to work. Like, game, perfect example when we played you down at our place. You scored early on, I think you did. We scored with 20 to go, and I thought, no, we're going to go on and win it. We looked on top. Again, set piece comes in, 2-1, then last minute 3-1. So, and that is the story of the season. We don't score enough goals, and we concede goals, and that's you're not going to do too well at the end of that. Really, that's football.
No. Like, obviously, discarding the point deduction, you'd still be bottom of the league. It's not particularly good. So, but you think like it's a down, obviously, having the point deduction to start the season. Like, I couldn't even imagine with the squad that we've got now that we'd be that confident going into a season with a point deduction of, I think it was 15 points, wasn't it?
12 points we've lost.
12 points,
and a £40,000 fine. So we were always playing catch up, and so the aim was, we work out a game, whatever, we had to be on 0 to look at the thing, and again, we're only still on -5 now. So to get to 0, we'll probably have a party because that's what it will be. That's the next aim. We're always playing catch up, and as long as the season started and we weren't winning and you weren't picking up points, I think it probably played on the players' minds. It played on the manager's mind. We got knocked out in the FA Cup to a side 2 levels below, and we just couldn't get any momentum. And football was all about confidence, and we had absolutely no confidence as the game's gone on. And again, a bit like we beat Eastleigh 3 games ago. Southend at home could have got a draw. Stockport only scored a few minutes from time, even though we're down 10 men. And then Torquay, we had chances when it's 1-1, but we just don't take them. And that's the story of the season. As I said, the league table doesn't lie. We are bottom for a reason. So
it's just been a difficult season, hasn't it? Coming into the season. Would there be any particular positives of this season, do you think, going into next season?
Well, the interesting thing will happen is if what happens next season, what we're going to do. I think we've got some good players. We've got Ryan Hansen, who was at Hull, not too far from you, as an academy boy. He's from Dover, a Dover boy. He's been really good. He's the captain of the team at 21. So, and he's sort of, again, I think he can probably play at the National League level next season or even higher. So he's the sort of, we're hanging our hat on him. One of our own, a local boy doing well. And I think that's quite important. And we've put a lot of the academy sides. Our academy's been quite successful at producing players. Sean Raggett, who's at Portsmouth captain, he came through that, and a few other ones that have come through. And we have sort of developed a few academy boys who've played. George Wilkinson, only 17, he's looked good as well. So the development of the youth sides for next season, hopefully that could be an important factor for us in the league we're in below.
Now we'll just head over to the chat before we proceed any further in the interview. So the first one comes in from Tony Farrer. Easy win on paper, but we don't seem to do easy wins. We'll settle for a last-minute winner. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, if you're going to beat us, I don't want to, it's the hope that kills you. I don't want us to get to 90 minutes and it's 0-0 or something like that, and you score in the last minute. I think that would be more of a sickener for us, really. A bit like the Stockport game. We were hanging on, and if we'd have got a point, everybody would have been delighted. But I think Halifax are a decent side at home, aren't they? You don't draw many at home, so I think you've drawn them 2 all season at home. So and I think it's 28 or 29 games since we've won away from home. So, Tony, easy win on paper.
Please, just don't say that, because it will end up, we're known for, when you give them statistics out, we'll end up dropping points.
Well, again, we've got nothing to lose. So, I think you've lost your last 2, is it, at home, is it? I think as well, looking at it. So
we lost to Bournemouth at home. And if you count like the FA Trophy, then yes, we have lost the last 2 at home. The next one that comes in, this is from Freddie Eastwood. Will Matthew go to the game?
No, I'm the commentator for the BBC for Dover Athletics, so I do the games around the M25. So
Yeah.
I don't know if Freddie knows where Dover is. It's a long way from Halifax. So I'll be at Bath, Dartford v Bath on Saturday for the radio. So I do the games around the M25. So your Aldershots, your Wokins, your Bromleys, your Dagenhams, which are only sort of, Dover's on a real limb. It's, half of Dover is covered by the sea. So it takes a long while to get anywhere from Dover. So there will be a few Dover fans going up because we've got a few fans up north who live up north who cover us as well.
Ours is Shaymen down south. I'm guessing yours is Dover up north.
Yeah, exactly. We've got a few fans up north who will go in, and you've got people who go, you go everywhere. Your hardcore support. You've got it probably in Halifax. The people who, you could lose every game 5-0, well, they'll always be there. So I won't be going to the game, Freddie, but I hope you enjoy it. But and as I said to the previous thing, if you're going to beat us, don't beat us in the last minute. Score in the 50th minute, because otherwise, when I'm looking at the score, I'm thinking, we're going to get a point. And then you see it in the last minute. It sort of really drains you. I'll be going to Aldershot on Tuesday night. We've got Aldershot in that. So if we don't, I think that could be 30 away games if we don't beat, if we don't win, which is a long time. We haven't won away out from home for 2 years. So there you go.
When was the last one that you won away?
It was against Stockport, just before COVID. Your mate Innie Effiong, he scored 2 and we won 2-0 at Stockport. So, of course, the life of the world has changed since that point, because I think we all thought we were going to get in the playoffs, etc. at that point, and then COVID struck, and there we are, and we haven't really recovered ever since. So we have got some tough away. We've still got to go to Bournemouth, Chesterfield, Wrexham, Halifax, Bromley. We've got a lot of hard away games to go, so we could do with winning one of them before we play to them. We've got a lot of the smaller teams at the bottom to play at home.
You've done quite well, haven't you, against the bigger sides in the league? Like, you haven't particularly been battered, obviously discarding that Grimsby and Solihull game. Like, Chesterfield, you got a point there. Wrexham, you just lost late on. Stockport, most recently, only just lost.
Yeah,
Go on.
Dover as a team over the years, they've been in the National League 8 seasons now. Always done well against the big teams. Always sort of bloody the nose of the so-called bigger boys, and that's what they've always been like that. So they sort of raised the game against the big side. It's the little sides, that we've struggled against and when we've lost it out. But we've always raised our games against the bigger teams. So Andy Hessenthaler, the manager, he won't settle for anything best. It's been a difficult season for him, but what he wants to the rest of the season is he wants to prove a point to some of these teams and beat some of these big teams that could have stopped them going up. So we've still got a big part to play in this league. So we've got to make the most of it.
What's it like for him then as the manager, like coming into the season? I think, was he appointed in the summer, I believe?
No, he's been there. So Andy's been there 3 years or so. He was previously here early part of the 2007 to 2010, I think it was, when we were in, levels below. So we were 3 levels below. He's a legend in Kent football. So he's at Gillingham. He was the great. Gillingham were the only football league team in Kent. He was used to be their manager and voted their greatest player of all time. He came at Dover, got us promoted, left, and then when Chris Kinnear, who was the manager who got us promoted to the National League, got us to the third round of the FA Cup, got us into the playoffs, he left, and Andy Hessenthaler came back. So he's been there a few years. Some of the supporters thinking maybe it's time for a change, but he's an old warhorse as a midfielder, so he expects his players to be just like him, to be as strong and give 110%. So, and I think that what I will say over the season, the effort's always been there. You can never criticise the effort that the players have put in. They're just not good enough, and it'll be interesting to see what Andy Hessenthaler. He'll be desperate to go up there to get a result against Halifax to say, right, we're stopping them going up. Then when he goes to Chesterfield or Wrexham, he wants to do exactly the same. He's a football man and he wants to win football matches, which unfortunately he hasn't done much this season.
The next one that comes in is from Alexander Exley. Do you think the game will still go ahead because of the storm? Also, are you going to the game? If so, and would you... I'll basically just answer the first question then. Right. He's talked a bit about this storm that's coming. The pitch isn't in the best condition at this moment in time. I don't know if you've heard rugby have been playing on it, and the heavy rain around Halifax, and with this storm coming. My personal thoughts on the game going ahead. From now, with the rain pouring down, I don't think it'll go ahead. However, we've got good ground staff, and hopefully we can get this game on, because if I didn't actually go to the game on Saturday, and I just really want to see Halifax back at the Shea, with obviously previously that Bromley game being called off, and hopefully in advance we've got it all sorted. But yeah, that more or less answers your question. Now, I believe this is from a Dover fan. This is from Reg Harris. Hi, Matt. We will let the goals in late in the game because we're really not fit enough to last the 90 minutes, and we can't defend corners. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, the stat that I said before, when we concede a lot of goals in the last 15 minutes of games, will show that. And that maybe is because we're only training twice a week, on Monday and a Thursday, so they'll be training tonight. And they're not training we haven't got a training ground, so you're training in school facilities. So, and in this league, you need to be on it. So it's a terribly hard league. If you're not on it, and we're getting exploited, I don't think our fitness is that bad, but I think maybe sometimes our concentration isn't, that we just don't stay switched on. Don't stay switched on, and we get exploited. Like he said, from corners, like when we played Torquay at the weekend, we had a good chance to go 2-1 up. Yeah. They get a corner, free header from a centre-half goal. And I could have said that 6 or 7 times this season. We're on top. They get a set piece. Nobody picks up the man. And he heads the ball in the back of the net. So, I think I know Reg, and he'll be one that goes everywhere.
Yeah, he's actually said
fitness is okay, because I think even though the players are not full time, they're not down the pub every week. They've got some fitness down the gym, etc., like that. So they're expected to do extra work rather than training. I just think it's a concentration thing. We just switch off, and I can't see why that is. If we haven't got a leader or anything in the team, and we can't defend. Have you got anybody who's good at a set piece, and somebody coming up to head the ball in the back of the net? Because
we're probably quite weak in that area at the minute, with Kieran Green being out injured. Yeah. Obviously, we've got our centre halves like Tom Bradbury, Niall Maher, who are known for scoring headers, but I don't think there's too much to worry about in that department. I think we'll probably just try keep it on the floor. Now, this is something that I wanted to ask you a bit about. The pitch conditions, like I've stated, probably won't be the best. I think this will go in Dover's favour, because I think a lot of people are expecting Dover to come and probably put 11 men behind the ball. Do you think it'll go in Dover's favour with the pitch conditions not being the best?
No, Dover, and he tries to play football. We will play with a target man in Alfie Pavey, who's on loan from Maidstone. He was with us before he came back. He thinks he will play. Problem is, we don't really have a partnership with him. So if we do hit the ball long, A, he's got to chase it down, or B, he's got to hold the ball up to bring players in. We have got a couple of ball players in midfield. Giazi, who's come on loan from Kings Lynn, he looks quite tidy on the ball, can go past the man. Finishing is a bit of a concern. He gets in good positions, and he sort of has a nosebleed. That's a concern from that. And Kobe Arthur, who's been probably one of David's best players, from a Birmingham man, he likes the ball to run at people as well. So we have got ball players from that ball. We probably haven't got a midfield playmaker, which may means that we hit the ball long. I don't think we would. I would say that we'll try and soak up the pressure and maybe play on the counter attack with the likes of Giazi and Arthur's pace to get at them. So again, if my concern is Halifax score first, the game's over. If Dover can't get back into a game. If Dover score first, they can't keep a clean sheet. In those 29 away games, there hasn't been a single clean sheet. So on that basis, you're looking at things that we can't keep a clean sheet. We've got a very good goalkeeper.
I think Adam, he did extremely well, didn't he, against Halifax?
Brilliant.
In the reverse fixture.
Adam Parks, he's on loan from Watford. So
I think he got
he's
in
really good.
The week as well for National League that week as well. I remember seeing his name.
He's good. He's really good. Young goalkeeper, good shot stopper. And I think he's got, maybe not in the Premier League, but I think he could do a job at this level and maybe the level above. So he's a good shot stopper, but he can't do anything if your centre half not picking up the opposing centre half on and the header goes in. But I'm sure Pete Wild has been watching his videos and will be watching on the set pieces, because that will be a way that Halifax can get it, Dover.
Yeah, I wanted to talk a bit about the reverse fixture. Obviously, Halifax defeated Dover 3-1. It wasn't probably the easiest win for Halifax coming to Dover. For us, it was probably an awkward game. What were your thoughts on the game?
Yeah, I think it was. I don't think the conditions were particularly good again, the weather-wise. So when we played, when did we play? Was it November? Yeah, November the 20th it was. So Billy Walters, who was on a bit of a hot streak in front of goal, I think he might have got a hat-trick the week before. He scored early on. But then Dover grew into the game a little bit again. We got to equalise the 13 minutes from time. Ben Williamson, who's now left the club. And you thought, we were on top. We'll go on. Let's go on and see if we can get that all-important win. And probably in my commentary, I said, let's go on and win it at this point because we were on top. But again, Green, I think he did score from a set piece with a header.
Yeah, he scored from a set piece.
Yeah, exactly. Say what I said before. And then Walters scored again. I was impressed with Halifax. You got a keeper, Sam Johnson, top draw goalkeeper at this level.
Yeah.
You mentioned you made that really good.
The probably reason that he hasn't made it any higher up the football pyramid is probably his kicking. He's not known for being good with his feet, but shot stopping and lack of mistakes, he's well known for that. And yeah, he's a quality keeper for us, and we know his weaknesses, and I think that's what we work off. So when I look at this reverse fixture, I came into the game thinking, well, we've got to win. Dover not won a game all season, and we got the job done. Billy Waters getting a brace, but Dover equalised. And I remember on the radio, and it wasn't straightforward. It wasn't like it were a fluke goal where they just scored through the run of play. They deserved that equaliser, I felt.
Yeah, it was a set piece. I think the throw came to Williamson. Williamson didn't have the greatest season. He's not with us anymore. He put the ball in the net. And as I say, I thought, you think at that point, because we were on top, because probably Halifax had missed a few chances up to that point. So the confidence has grown into Dover's team. And then we thought, right, let's go on and win it. Then I think Green had a good game. And Slew set up Walters. I think we remember. Slew down the left-hand side, crossed it in. Walters in the last minute made it 3-1. Jordan Slew is the man who impressed me the most, I think, from that Halifax side. As I say, looking at his pedigree, clearly he's got something in there. If you brought for $1 million, his goal scoring record's not good, but he caused Dover problems because he's direct running, never stopped running. His movement is good. Sorry?
He offers something different, Slew. I think that's his strong point.
You look at it, everybody looks at strikers with the goal tally, don't you? You look at he's not prolific, but you could see what he was doing. His movement off the ball, gives it space to Billy Walters, and then from there, Matthew Warburton. I've seen him around before. Good player, really good player. Jamie Allen wasn't playing; he was with there. But yeah, you look at your side. I would say you've got a really good. You've got Luke Summerfield in midfield. He's veteran midfielder, but he knows what he's doing. And you've got a good manager as well, which is, and you're doing well. I don't know what the expectations were at the start of the season, but probably if I'd have done my predictions with all the team, with all the money, we've been up there over the last 2 seasons. Pete Wild clearly knows what he's doing as well. Yeah. And for me personally, I'm not just saying this because I'm on the show. Yeah. I think it would be brilliant if one of the Chesterfields, the Stockports, the Wrexham didn't go up, and one of the Broadwoods, the Bromley, and the Halifax did, because it will be good for the league. And will it happen? For me, probably. I think. Well, I've seen every team play either at home or away, because who's looked good for me. Chesterfield didn't look great. Torquay, I thought looked good for half an hour last week. Maybe got too many points to play.
What you thoughts on Stockport?
When we played them, we got it back 2-2 and a gain of chances. I thought they were poor defensively, but maybe they've sorted that out a little bit. Yeah. Again, they've got a good manager though. Challoner knows what he's doing.
Changed
great
it.
result. Great result. And again, great result against Bromley in week, because Bromley are a good side, strong, physical, organised. Bromley, going there scoring 3 is a good result. So, and the thing is, with these teams, if it comes to the crunch, they can go and buy a player for 150, 200,000. And one of them might just do that before the end of the season, just to sort of push them over the mark. Really, to probably, I'd say, Stockport's, with Chibonga being out from Chesterfield now, which is a big blow for them. You'd have thought Stockport are in pole position to do it, but I'd love it if the likes of run hopefully both Wrexham, not going to have much to look at next season because we're not going to be in this league. One of Wrexham and Chesterfield not to go up would be good, because I don't know what happens next season when the salary cap goes in as well. So, but Stockport, when you saw them, they've got some good players.
Paddy Madden, Scott, Quigley. They've just they've got Collar, Crankshaw. Some of the players for Stockport's team, you're thinking, how are they in this division?
Some people complain about money, the money teams going up. Stockport get 10,000 people every week. They've been in the championship. And some part of me, I'm not too bothered. Wrexham have done 14 seasons. I think it's their 14th season in this league.
Yeah.
They've done their time. Yeah. And if they want to buy their way out of it, if the only way they can do that is buying them.
Yeah.
Fair play to them. So
I'd love to see Halifax go up, because I don't particularly think we've had it easy over the years. Like, we've got history in the EFL, and then we just got expelled from it and got demoted about 5 divisions and had to restart again. And
I remember the days when Jeff Horsfield and you had a manager called George, somebody back in the day. He was the manager back in '98 when they got promoted. Just it. He was the goal, and then Horsfield came. That must have been the season you got promoted. We were in the conference as it was then, and Horsfield. It must have been March time. You must have brought 500 fans. You knew you were going up. Horsfield absolutely battered us, and Halifax are a big club. I'm at the age to know that I remember Halifax being in the Football League.
Yeah.
Third and fourth division as it was then. You got a lovely stadium, big stadium there. Again, and unfortunately, you've had to go backwards to go forwards. But hopefully you're on a good setting with the manager, good setting off the field. Do you enjoy non-league football? You want the Football League, I suppose.
Yeah, I haven't seen anything else than non-league because of my age. Like, I'd love to. The best I've seen is that FA Trophy final against Grimsby, and probably the game where we got relegated again down and we got back up. That's probably the two against Charlie. That's probably the two best games that I've probably witnessed, and best times for me personally. But I'd love to see Halifax back in the Football League. The amount of perks that you get from it, like you've got the video games, like your FIFA, you've got your highlights. You get free. You get more money from it. Like
you look at Sutton. So I think Sutton, the money they've got, they could rip up their pitch and still have enough money in doing so well. And you see what the sides and then who get promoted, they all do okay. So, but the National League, for a Dover fan, because we're a small club, we get gates of around about 1,000. There always is the pipe dream of getting in the Football League, and you never know. But we're not big enough, I don't think, to ever do that. I've always dreamed. Of course, you want a season in the Football League.
I'd love it if I saw Dover in the Football League. Like, most people, everyone knows where Dover is just because of obviously going on a cruise to France.
So, I just don't. We just can't compete in this league. The chairman's got plenty of money, but he's not going to throw it away because we can't compete anymore this division, and we've got to worry about the future now. That we've been here before in this division. Then we got relegated, and then we tumbled down the leagues. And what we don't want to do, is do that again or work our way up, because there's no guarantee you're going to do that.
It's not the best situation when you're having to going down the leagues, but getting out of this division, it's an awful division. getting out. You think of like Wrexham, you think of Stockport, Chesterfield, and I personally feel I was thinking about a couple of seasons ago, we're too big for this division. Now we're probably 8th on the waiting list for sides that deserve to be in the Football League, and it's mad how it just basically happens. And Notts County, even like we've got them on Tuesday, and you're thinking that Gates they're getting 5,000-6,000. I think they had 13,000 at one point this season against the Solihull Moors at home. And you're just thinking of the crowds this season. Like, we get probably about 2,000 a match. And you look at, and we're thinking we should be in the football. And you look at Wrexham, who are getting 8,000, Notts County 6,000. It's mental how the divide is in this division. Like, Bournemouth, they get about 500 a match. And they're still competing with the likes of Wrexham, who get about 8,000. It's mad,
they've
isn't
got
it?
some good. They get some good money from Arsenal, Bournemouth on that basis. Yeah. So, but as I said to the Torquay guys I was talking to last week when they were down here, I when they were relegated first time into they were a massive club coming in, but they're a big club, but they're not a big club now in this division. Yeah. It shows the money that's going around. So, to me, Chesterfield are a league club. Yeah. Arguably, they'll get back up. Wrexham, with the money they've got, are a league club, but they're going to get out.
Yeah.
And you would have thought Stockport as well. So you have to
Grimsby,
what Sutton did last year. Grimsby again, good crowds and things like that. So
how many do they bring to do? I don't know if they've been this season, but obviously they've been when they've been back down in non-league. Like I've always seen Grimsby's away when they go away is probably the best in the league. How many have they been to?
Well, we played them on the back end of the season. I think the season they got promoted from the on a Tuesday when they went up from there, and they were about 400 or 500 on a Tuesday night, which was April time. We had Southend. We haven't even mentioned Southend.
Yeah, Southend.
They came to us 2,000. They took 2,000 to us.
Away fans and home fans, I'm guessing.
2,000 of them. They loved coming to us because we don't have a ticketing ability, so you don't have to buy it. You can buy on the day.
Yeah, and that's the same with us. Like it's a £21 in, but you can just buy on the day. So
Southend absolutely loved it. 2,000 of them from there turned up. They had a great time. Of course, they won. Should they have won? Probably deserved the draw, but it didn't sort of happen. But another big club, you expect them. They're getting 7,000, and they're on a bit of a roll at the moment.
Yeah.
Did they look like promotion when we played them a couple of weeks ago? No, but they're on a roll. You never know. If you get on, it's all about momentum. As I said at the start, Dover had got no momentum at all season, and they've gone through that, and they can do it. Looking at the league table, are you confident, Halifax? You've got to get top 7, of course. Are you confident you can do that top 7?
Top 7, yeah, but you never know. Like all it takes is 3 or 4 injuries to key players, and could be out. Now I'm debating. I know this sounds a little silly, but Chesterfield possibly not even making the playoffs without Tishimanga, because when we played them a couple of weeks ago, I personally thought that Chesterfield relied heavily on Tishimanga. It was always going through Tishimanga. Yeah. And I don't think Quigley and the likes of Asante are at the same level as Tishimanga. I think they'll make the playoffs, but I think they'll slip. I think someone said in the chat they'll come 6th, and I think that's probably where they will actually finish this season, because it's hard losing a key player like that. Now, I feel if we lost, let's say, Billy Waters or Jordan Slew, I think we'd adapt without him, and we've made a couple of new signings who could probably fill in that role. Don't get me wrong, I think we'd be affected by it, but I don't think it'd affect our playoff chances, to be honest. Alexander Exley's come on here and said, Luke, do you think we will go up through automatic promotion or playoffs? It's hard to say at this moment in time if we're going to go up. I think automatic's probably out of the equation now. Playoffs.
Have you got anybody? Have you got anybody left to play? Like I say, you mentioned Notts County, which as well.
Mm-hmm. It cut out. Then could you repeat that? Sorry.
Sorry. Have you got anybody?
What is
it? Sorry. Have you got anybody at the top of the table to play still?
We've got Notts County Tuesday night, Stockport last game at season. That could be a play. That could be the difference. 2 sides could be first versus second. Whoever wins goes to the Football League. That'd be mad. Wrexham we've still got to play. Chesterfield. We've played Grimsby twice now. We've played Dagenham twice. There's about three or four teams. Solihull Moors we've got as well. Who do you think's going to go up then out of the two?
Looking at it, I expect Stockport. I think, I just think they're on a bit of a roll. They've got a good manager, which is half the battle in this league. Challoner, he knows what he's doing. He is. He's been there, done it, got through the playoffs, missed out on the playoffs, so he knows what he needs to do it. So I expect them, and again, momentum. The 10,000 people every week. It just think from there. Personally, Bournemouth, I think with the cup exploits, could come and affect them in the end. I think Gerrard is a brilliant manager. Brilliant job he's done there. As you mentioned, what they do on resources, but maybe if it's not them this season, the money they're going to get from the Everton game, if they invest that, they can do well. I'm looking at, it wouldn't surprise me. I know we look something like Solihull, Neil Ardley, they're just bully teams. When it comes to the crunch, in a one-off game, when you get to the playoffs, it's all, if you're playing your nice football and you've got a little bit of experience, Ardley knows what he's doing. And again, they've got some good players. One-off game, anything can happen. It wouldn't surprise me if something like Solihull came through, who did it from there. We'll look at the league table at the moment. Anybody breaking? You're thinking at the moment, you've not counted a ninth, can't they? So you're thinking. I would say nobody's going to break in unless they got a really good run. It's 7 out of 9. Who's going to miss out in that sort of thing? Grimsby seem to be hot and cold, but they're good at home. You would have thought Notts County are good at home as well, but they've got a lot of games to play. It's a difficult one. To be honest, I haven't really been looking at the top end of the table because I'm so depressed with looking at the top, looking at the bottom. I would say Dover are going down, and I expect Kings Lynn and I expect Weymouth to go with them. Stockport to win it. I would say Solihull. I don't think Bromley have got enough this season.
I'd hate to see Solihull or Bournemouth go to the Football League with crowds again. I'd hate it because they've just come out of nowhere.
Again, that shows that you can get out of this league because Bournemouth wouldn't be anywhere without their Arsenal links and be the chairman. So, but they've got a good manager. I've got Gerrard can pick up a player, and he's done a brilliant job. It's a fantastic league, and I know a lot of people have said that you've got to have more than 2 promotion places. Really, if you had 3, it opens it up really completely from there. So, and hopefully that will happen. After Saturday, after Dover beat Halifax, I
think we might have lost connection. Right, I believe we've actually lost connection. I'll just remove him. Hopefully he can join back in a second. So I'll just see what you guys have actually said. So Freddie Eastwood's come on and said, Luke, what is your favourite player in Halifax? And Matthew, what is your favourite player for Dover? For me, Halifax, I think I said this before we started. I personally feel Kieran Green. I can't remember what he actually said for Dover. Reg Harris, the Dover fans, come on. Grimsby away were the best I've ever seen. Yeah, Grimsby fans are well known for being away. Hopefully he can join us in a second. So I'll just see what you guys have been saying. Send some questions in about the game to keep me entertained until Matthew comes back. We've also got one. The maiden game, I was texting the scores to a mate and was struggling to keep up at times. Oh, we've got him back now, I believe. I'm
blaming my kids now for going online when I'm there, so I do apologise about that. But as I said before, tell them they can go to bed. I'm hoping that Dover will beat Halifax in the weekend to end our bad run away from home. Secondly, then you win the rest of our games and you go promoted. So we're happy to do a deal on that.
Pardon?
We'll do a deal on that we beat you on Saturday. But then you can win the remaining games of the season. You can get promoted. Deal?
No, I can't agree with that. Oh no, yeah, I'll do a deal then. Yeah,
yeah, we do a deal. So, but yeah, it's tight at the top. Eventually, they've got to give, the pressure with the money being spent. You think they've got to give another opportunity for other clubs to go up. So, and fingers crossed, Halifax, big club, get them promoted as well. Good luck to you.
Yeah, I'd hope to see Halifax back in the Football League. Now we've got another one here. Notts have some very good players, but as a group, they're not a strong group. Now, what's your thoughts on that? Looking into Notts County.
Well, I've got to be careful because Dover have fallen out with Notts County this week again.
Oh, yeah.
With the playing situation. Yeah. When I'm doing my homework on Notts County, you look at the players they've got. Strikers always going to score goals. Defensively, they've got this guy from Liverpool, the keeper. Hearing good things about him. A lot of pressure, probably from the fans as well, isn't it? They're desperate to get out of this league from that point of view. And that must bring a lot of pressure for the manager who's managed abroad, missed out on the playoffs last season. Difficult then. There's a lot of pressure on them. That's a big game for you playing. They're ninth at the moment. And they've beaten you in the trophy. Doesn't make a difference. Depends if you care about the trophy or not.
That FA Trophy game, I didn't actually attend it, but I remember there were Halifax fans. They were going crazy, even though it was the FA Trophy, flares and everything. Like, how did Dover treat the trophy?
Well, we didn't win the game. We were beaten by Bromley in it. But again, for me personally, I would have taken it really quite seriously at the start of the season because it's a chance. There's a lot of things. I've seen Dover in the third round of the FA Cup. I've seen him in the playoffs. I'd love it if you were lucky enough to see.
Crystal Palace that they had a couple of seasons ago.
We played Crystal Palace and we played Huddersfield not far from you as well. So we've had some great days out in the FA Cup. Of course, you're lucky enough, you mentioned earlier, see your side at Wembley.
Yeah.
Of course, I'm a bit older than you. No, we got to the semi-final of the trophy back in '98, and we lost to Cheltenham. Yeah. And I was only a lot younger then, but I was heartbroken. And that was always, I'd love to see my team at Wembley. That would be so we didn't take it particularly seriously because we got knocked out. So, but I was disappointed because particularly this season, we knew we were going down. We should have taken it seriously. But back to Notts County.
Yeah. Something positive on it, maybe, if you did proceed further in that competition.
That's the thing. So, Notts County, there's a lot of pressure. A lot of pressure on them because who would you say is the biggest team in this league?
What, based on like fan base or just overall?
Just generally bigness of the club? Yeah.
Like everyone's probably saying Wrexham at this moment in time, but that's because of obviously they're getting good crowds and with Ryan Reynolds, etc. Yeah. I'd probably say Notts County based on the history. Like they've been in the Premier League before, so I think it's got to be Notts County.
As well. When we went there.
Yeah. Did you go to Notts County? I'm guessing.
Yeah, I've been to Notts County. Yeah.
Yeah.
I do the away games that are the big boys, so I can say we might never play Notts County again. So and the Chesterfields have done and things like that. So you go there and it's a proper ground. It's a proper. The atmosphere.
I think it holds 20,000.
Yeah.
Which is nearly the most almost the same as Huddersfield Town, who are very local to us. So it's
there's a lot of pressure on them because they're again, as you probably find out, these teams that get relegated think it's going to be so easy. We'll just bounce back.
Yeah, I remember saying, we need to get out of this Tin Pot League, etc.
And Notts County, they've been very critical of Dover, and I'm not going to get involved in that over the last few days. Yeah. But unfortunately, Notts County, you're in the same league as Dover, and that's for a reason because you've got relegated. It's not our fault. We might not be we may have our issues, but it's unfortunately you're in this league as well, the same as us. So and you've got to get out of it. But they're a big club. Will they do it? They've got the squad on paper is brilliant. The players they've got, you think, wow.
Ruben Rodriguez, that Cal Roberts, like
some of
the stuff he can do, like, and even you've got like the midfielders. I think that they've got like that Vincent, who's obviously there. I think he's a form player. When he's on form, he can be good as well. You've also got Kyle Wootton.
You've got goal scorers. So that's a big game for you on Tuesday. It's a lot bigger than. So going into you probably want 3 points on Saturday.
Yeah,
gives you confidence going in against Notts County as well.
I'd take Notts.
Yeah. If you look at that, if you get 6 points out of the next two, don't worry about us. but B, it gives you a bit of a gap against Notts County as well. But you know, unfortunately, you lose that gap gets a little bit thick, and you're getting sucked into those teams in 8th and 9th who could fall out of the playoffs.
It can just change just like that. Like I remember a couple of weeks ago, after that Chesterfield game, we drew away, and then we went and drew at Grimsby, and then won at home to Grimsby. I thought, I think we could actually do it this season. I think we could actually win the league after beating Grimsby at home. Then a key midfielder gets injured, and then I'm thinking, oh no, we go to Maidenhead then. And obviously Kieran Green's injured. We don't adapt. We lose to them. We then play Bournemouth on a Tuesday night. I don't know if you saw that game because it was on BT, but and we end up losing there. And you could tell we were missing key players. And Slew, he hasn't been playing recently. He hasn't played in the league. So I don't even know if he's going to be playing on Saturday, to be honest. Kieran Green, he may have been back, I believe, because it was 4 weeks ago. He had a 4-week injury. I believe it's been a month now. We've got the likes of Kane Spence, youngsters as well, a young midfielder who's crucial. He's been out injured. A lot of injuries are starting to pile up on us, and players are starting to come back. And one positive, it feels like we've got a bit of depth. Like we've signed Zach Deanley. I can't remember a time Halifax Town have had depth, but we've got the likes of Tom Deanley. We've just signed from Oldham. I believe we've got him probably because of Oldham's financial difficulties. Because when I look at his profile and what he's done in his career so far, being at Man United, I'm thinking, how have we got a hold of him? You've got the likes of Zach Deanley. We signed Aaron Martin from Harrogate. He's a very good
striker. He holds the ball up really well. I like him. Yeah.
And you're thinking of certain players, and Pete Wild's known for good recruitment. You've also got Thomas, who we've signed from Preston on loan. And Pete Wild's well known for good recruitment. And I'm confident going into the rest of the season, but it just depends on injuries, etc. Now, Freddie's come back and said, Luke, what is your favourite player in Halifax? Matthew, what is your favourite player for Dover? I actually said Kieran Green. I said earlier when Matt was disconnected. Matt, who is your favourite Dover player this season?
Currently in the squad, I do like the keeper. I do think Adam Parks is a really good goalkeeper. He saved us in numerous games, and he's good with both feet. He's a good shot stopper, and it probably shows with the position we're in when probably our best player this season has been the goalkeeper. Kobe Arthur is a good midfielder as well. On his day, he scores. He hasn't scored in a long time, but he's one of the guys you mentioned earlier. He scores worldies, basically. Outside the penalty area, he'll score it, so he can go past people. So probably those two, my favourite players. But for me, my favourite Halifax player, Jamie Allen. Lovely player when he played for Dover. A really good player. I really liked him.
Yeah, he's a good lad, Jamie Allen. Now, someone asked earlier what our score predictions. What is your score prediction finally before we end the interview?
As I mentioned earlier, we can't keep a clean sheet. So I don't think we will get overrun. It might not be pretty from a Halifax point of view, and you might get frustrated with Dover. Yeah. I'm going to have to say it. We're going to try and get a result for the first time away from maybe nearly 2 years. I will go, sorry to say, even though I want you promoted after we beat you. Halifax 1, Dover 2. Dover will go 2-0 up and then start panicking. You'll get one back. And from there. So we're going to, unfortunately, put a dent in your promotion hopes if we can get a result there.
Just please don't. I don't know, guys. It's an awkward game because you're expecting us to batter you, but you never get battered, hardly ever, apart from that Solihull game in Grimsby. Yeah. I think we'll be
organised, but again, we've got to stay switched on. If we don't stay switched on, you'll beat us. Yeah,
I think, you know what, I'm going to go 1-0 Halifax, and I think what will end up happening, we'll go 1-0 up. 60 minutes in, we should be scoring more, and for some reason, we'll end up sitting back against Dover, and I wouldn't be surprised at all if we did actually do that. Finally, leave your score predictions in the chat. We've got one last thing that I will announce. Town of Twice has attendances closer to 40,000 than 30,000 and higher than anything Wrexham, Stockport or Chesterfield have ever had. Well, we've had 30,000 against Man City in 1980 and we had 40,000 at Wembley. So you're going back a couple.
It shows what the club can do. So where you are, of course, where we are, there's not many teams. You say you've got Gillingham, which is an hour up the road from Dover. Where you are, there's so many teams, your Huddersfield, your Bradford.
It wouldn't help us, that's one negative. Yeah. And they don't particularly... Go on.
But, you've taken 40,000 to Wembley.
Yeah.
That shows the potential of the football club. So what you can do, you've got a decent manager, and you've done well over the last few years.
Yeah. I think for us personally, like, the crowds probably should be higher, but you've got Bradford, Huddersfield, Leeds right next to us, and it's with like ticket. People probably don't want to pay £21 in for non-league. Where if we get to the Football League, I think we'd be getting 3,000 quite often. I feel, and that'd be good for me. I think realistically, I think we probably the fan base that we've got. I think we should be a Football League club. Personally, I think we're bigger than a lot of sides like your Accringtons and your Fleetwoods, etc. But that's just my personal opinion. Now, another score prediction's coming, 4-1. Now,
I like Freddie as well. He's got some good questions. Now he's put that in.
4-1 Halifax. I'll take that. Now, I said 1-0 Halifax. I think that more or less concludes the interview. Matt, I really appreciate you taking the time out to come on. I'll leave Matt's Twitter account's details in the link below so you can find him there. Matt, I really appreciate you coming on, and good luck on Saturday, but not too much.
No, I look forward to hearing your matches. Send me a synopsis of the game via Twitter after the game, and I look forward to reading that.
There will be a vlog coming out for anybody wanting to know. So, thank you to everyone that's joined in the live tonight.
Podcast, Josh, you're doing him.
Yeah, thank you, Matt.
The war is shone